Devin Townsend live. It's awesome, and it's not, a repeat, not going to be included in the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, you greedy bastards. Right, for those of you who don't know, there's a 1,000 subscriber giveaway going on. You're not having this. This is mine. Bit of a shorter review, this one. I'm not going to go into the songs and everything because, well, I shall explain thusly. This live album, a particularly nice booklet set, so to speak. This was recorded in Plovdiv, Bulgaria, at an ancient Roman theatre. And this was recorded on the 22nd of September 2017. And it was done to mark the 20th anniversary of Devin's first solo album, Ocean Machine. Now, I'm not going to go into the songs too much on this one, or the lyrics or anything, because I fully intend to do a classic album review of Ocean Machine at some point. Maybe that'll be sooner rather than later, because I also want to do Strapping Young Lad with City, which is the first album of Devin's that I heard, and that's a fucking phenomenal album as well. Something just flew in my eye. You're not having it. Now, included in this luscious set, which you're not having, is 3 CDs, 2 DVDs, 1 Blu-ray, a luscious booklet, a colour booklet, packed full of all sorts of photos. Well, not all sorts of photos, just photos relevant to the gig. Not only that, you get a letter from the Devster himself. Now, this live performance was all performed on the one night. It's all one performance, but it's 2 different sets. The first being exclusively the Devin Townsend Project. Devin, of course, joined by Brian Weddell, also known as Beeve, Mike St. Jean on keyboards, Ryan Van Poederoyen on drums, phenomenal drummer, and Dave Young on guitar. And an incredibly good band they are. Progressive masters. Seen them live many times, and yeah, they're all just incredibly talented musicians. Nothing weirder than walking along a country lane with a camera pointed at yourself. So you can do it in town, or you can do it, I did one recently in London, which was a piece of piss. I couldn't give a fuck. Just walked around openly, don't give a fuck, said whatever I said. When you're in the country, people just, you know, what the? Which is fair enough, really. It was about 12 songs, something like that in total, for the fan-picked set. Basically, people got to vote on what they wanted to hear. Particular highlights for me from the fan set were Truth and Stormbending, which is absolutely awesome. Gaia, Deadhead, always fantastic. Canada was great, and Deep Peace, which was the final song of the fan-picked stuff. Now, before I get into the actual Ocean Machine set itself, as I stated earlier, you've got 3 CDs, 2 of which covers the fan-picked material, and then you have 1 CD on its own of the Ocean Machine performance, the entirety of the album. You have 2 DVDs with the live performance and a 30-minute documentary, and there's also a Blu-ray involved, which again is the concert and the documentary all on 1 disc, but of course in stunning high definition quality. It's definitely the Blu-ray that is the standout feature of this set. The audio quality is fantastic, as you'd expect from Devin. He's pretty much a perfectionist. If the Blu-ray is the highlight of the video, then what is the highlight of the video? Well, the Ocean Machine set is pretty goddamn incredible. So well done. Very, very good album. It's one of those kind of sleeper hits in many ways. A lot of people probably still don't know much about it. When it came out, it took me a while to get into it. First Devin album that I got was Strapping Young Lad's City, which is relentlessly heavy. Such a fucking quality album. Genuinely did something to my brain, that album did, in a good way, in one of those bad good ways. So when I got Ocean Machine, I guess I was kind of expecting something similar, and that is not what Ocean Machine is. Now, the lineup for the Ocean Machine album was a guy called Marty Chapman, on drums, and a guy called John Squid Harder on bass. Very sadly, Marty Chapman, the drummer, passed away. I'm not sure when it was, but he passed away. And John Harder, very unfortunately, was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. But Devin reached out to him. I think they spoke to each other. I think there was something in the documentary. John sort of sent Devin an email sort of saying, oh, you know, it's a shame I couldn't be part of it. And Dev kind of got back to him and said, well, maybe you could be. And that's exactly what happened, which is very heartwarming. He joins the band, replacing Brian Waddell, Beeve, on bass. The rest of the band, the rest of the Devin Townsend Project, play as normal, but John replaces Brian on bass, who very graciously stepped down to let him perform the bass for this album. And very touching it is as well. John walks onto stage with the help of his with the help of a walker, with the help of a stroller, and he has to obviously remain seated for the set, for his performance, but he does a solid job. And it's really nice to see him and Devin share the stage to perform an album that they recorded together. Well, I guess the recording was over 20 years ago. Seventh Wave, the opener, I loved right from the beginning. Even though it wasn't what I was expecting in terms of heaviness, I loved Seventh Wave. Phenomenal song. As soon as that voice intro kicks in, "O Earth, what changes hast thou seen?" Fucking spellbinding, loved it. Then of course you've got Life, which really is a life-affirming song. It is just one of those songs that makes you feel that you should be living more, you should be doing more, you should be just being more true to yourself, and just stop wasting your fucking time doing the things that don't matter. And then of course the song's over and I just go back to the same shit that I always do. Night and Hide Nowhere, another two great fucking songs. Things dip down a bit more for Sister and 3 AM. Go a bit more ambient, bit more laid back, bit more acoustic, bit more subdued, till we get to Voices in the Fan, which is similar thematically, into Greetings. I think it was during Greetings Devin took a back seat. He seemed quite overwhelmed with emotion during the gig. Could see it a few times. He was kind of overcome by what was going on. We get into an awesome rendition of Regulator. I think there's videos of that up already. If there are, I'll put links to those in the description so you can check them out. It's a fantastic playthrough of Funeral and also Bastard. But we get to the absolute highlight. If Ocean Machine is the highlight of the Blu-ray, then The Death of Music, which for some reason isn't on the track listing. I think it must be a printing error. I wonder if that would be worth money. You're not having this one, you fucks. But yeah, The Death of Music is just phenomenal. It's like 12-13 minute song. And if you haven't heard any Devin Townsend, or you're not familiar, or you haven't heard The Death of Music, listen to that song. Just let yourself go with that song. Phenomenal. And you could see that it really got to Devin performing that song as well. Just absolutely fucking phenomenal. I adore that song. First time I heard it, that was just one of them ones. It just got me and I've loved it ever since. Listen to it on a steady basis. Who's this steady bassist and why are you listening to things on him? And then we end with Things Beyond Things, which is another good song, but just doesn't compare to Death of Music. Oh my god. And that's pretty much the box set. Fantastic stuff. I've probably gone on about this way more than I originally intended, but huge Devin Townsend fan, huge Ocean Machine fan, and this is not sometimes, you know, a lot of live releases are kind of just yeah. This felt something special. Completely forgot to mention that during the DDP fan favourite set, they were joined by the orchestra and choir of the Plovdiv State Opera, which I completely neglected to say. Now, even though the Devin Townsend Project has disbanded, there's certainly going to be plenty more from Devin coming up. He already has in the works an album called Empath, which apparently is coming out next March, which is going to be a culmination of a load of different things. I think he's even said there are moments on there are going to be very, Rary. There's going to be moments on there that are very reminiscent of Strapping Young Lad, DTP, more orchestral, more ambient, more acoustic, whole mismatch of stuff. He's also working on some more Ziltoid stuff, an EP, as well as a game, apparently, I think a mobile game. And he's also working on a musical called Moth, which apparently he went to Sony to try and get £10 million for, or dollars, I'm not sure. Is there much difference nowadays? It's going to be a huge, huge musical. Yeah, I think there was something about vagina puppets. But yeah, classic Dev. But yeah, tons more to come from Devin though, it seems to be. The guy's just relentless. I mean, he's made over like 30 or 40 albums, something ridiculous like that, and the quality is always pretty much up there as well. By far one of my favourite musicians of all time. So what have I got coming up next? Well, the next video I'll be doing will be for Mastodon, Leviathan, my next classic album review. Next week there will be Between the Buried and Me, Automator Part 2. Very much enjoyed the first one, so I'm looking forward to that. And we've got the new Death Heaven album as well, which I'm very much looking forward to. I never actually bothered checking out Sunbather. I know they're one of those bands that seem to get a lot of flack for being posers or false black metal or whatever the fuck. I fucking hate elitists, I really do. But yeah, I'll be doing a review of their new album. If you like the video, like. If you haven't, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed. If you are subscribed, make sure you share. Why not? Spread the word about all this bullshit. There's somebody over there in the field playing what music. Well, that's just not very good, is it? I come out here to get away from these fucks, and all I can hear is goddamn people. Fuck's sake. On that note, I'll catch you later. I've gone way too fucking long today, so it's better.